Lisa Rinna and I want to help you and your partner put the spark back in your love life. Now, I have been married for more than 20 years, and Lisa has been with your husband, actor Harry Hamlin, for more than 2 decades as well. So what is the successful to these long marriages? Well, Lisa reveals this in a new book, the Big, Fun, Sexy Sex book, emphasis on fun and sexy sex. A survey by CNN found that more than 40 million Americans are stuck in sexless marriages. And this is an attempt to sort of address that, is it not?
I guess so, in many, many ways. I teamed up with Dr. Ian Kerner, who
I know is excellent.
Who you said, yes, good.
Well, yeah, I saw that he was on the cover. That, excellent.
He's amazing. And, long story short, we met. And I had written a book back in 2008 called Renovation. And that was about reinventing yourself at any age. And I opened up in one of the chapters about my loss of my sex drive after having our kids.
Babies, very common.
Killed it, dead, done.
It's very common.
So I opened up about it.
And by the way, that's God's way of making sure we don't have children right on top of each other.
Except for Tori Spelling.
Listen, but it is supposed to happen, and that is why men need to kind of suck it up a little bit in that particular first year after the baby's born, because we're all a little busy taking care of children at that point, and that's the priority. Then the sexy sex afterwards, yes?
Yes, absolutely. But mine was more than that. I really felt that it was an issue, more than just, okay, we're taking a break while we have the kids. So I write about it in the book. Women are coming up to me. They responded to it like so amazingly. I thought, okay, that's really great. Maybe I'm helping. Meet Ian. Ian says, hey, I love your book, Renovation. Why don't we write a book together about sex? And I thought, well, how great, because you're an expert. I'm married. We could do a he said, she said, and the book was born. Excellent. And we wanted it to be fun. We wanted it to be accessible, and we wanted to get that conversation out there. And
although it is fun, you address some serious stuff here. I like the fact that you get into real significant medical issues and parenthood and everything else, all the medical lifetime, what am I trying to say? Across the lifespan where sex becomes an issue, addressing it, right?
Yes, exactly. And there's so many things involved.
Oh, yes.
And I learned so much writing this book with Ian.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just, okay, I'm in a sex rut.
Right.
There are so many issues.
Psychological, biological, interpersonal. And by the way, one thing that's not emphasized enough is the perimenopause and menopausal issues that these days, guys, if you're listening, if sex somehow it seems like you're not interested at all anymore, think of medication, think of biology if you're a little bit older, and these have solutions. Let's take a couple calls, shall we? Let's talk to Jesha, I believe is the name, in New Hampshire. What do you got for us?
Dr. Drew, I'm not enjoying my sex life with my husband whatsoever, and the rest of my life with him I enjoy tremendously.
How old are you?
I'm 53, and he's about 57.
Are you on any medication?
No, I'm not at all.
Okay, so
he is for, for heart and things like that, diabetes.
So he has medical problems. Is he having erectile dysfunction also?
Yes, actually. Which is usually the secret that women keep, and then you wonder why they're so miserable.
So here we go.
Probably that. Exactly. And so to compensate his issues, what he says to me during sex are things that you would find like in porn.
Oh, goodness. So and then that puts you off even more, I bet.
1,000%. Then it involves everything in your life.
Jesha, I have a book to recommend to you. but let me just say, honey, thank you for calling. That is such a poignant story. And let me just say that having worked with couples for many, many years, when they lose that part, they really lost something significant. You can hear the loss and the grief in her voice. She's stricken.
Absolutely. And clearly they're not connecting in so many ways. And
Where do we start?
Where do we start? There's so many issues that are touched on in the book. I mean, you've got there.
Let's do with the ED, because you do erectile dysfunction. You deal with that in the book.
I think there's 4 chapters on it, actually.
Fantastic.
Yes, we really deal with it.
So for him, heart disease, by the way, for men out there who have erectile dysfunction, if you're over the age of 30 and start to have that difficulty, it's one of the very first presenting symptoms of heart problems. You should get up on a treadmill. Jesha's husband has heart problems, has heart medication. There are medical solutions for that. He should ask his doctor about that. He should think about that. This is an important part of your relationship. And same thing for her, I would say. Taking postmenopausal, I mean, there's all kinds of controversy about hormone replacement therapy. Where do you ring in on that?
You know, it's funny because I'm getting closer and closer to that. It's something that I'm talking to my doctor about. I think it's all personal, and you do have to talk to your doctor about it and find out what's right for you. I think hormonal balance is the most important thing, however you can get it.
I agree with you. And how about this guy hearkening back to pornography? What do we do with that?
Well, you know, I think it's his way, obviously.
He's trying. Yeah.
And clearly that might be where he's getting his satisfaction right now. So maybe there's some way that you can come to, well, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. It's a very lovely way of painting that picture.
So maybe there's some way they can meet in the middle.
Yeah. Right. Good point. Always compromise and talk about it. If this is something that helps him with arousal, maybe he can do it in a way without being off-putting to her.
Of course. And if he talks about it with her and says, honey, this is something that I might need you to do, she may be more open to helping him out.
Sex, while it can be good, can sometimes be a cover for intimacy, can it?
I think it can if you're not talking and you're not really going there and you're not going through the fire, as I like to call it.
What does that mean now? Describe
Walking through the fire? Well, like really, it's hard to describe it, getting down and dirty.
Together.
Together.
Like being willing to listen to each other's fantasies, dreams, desires, and trying to compromise and achieve.
Yeah, I think so. Like really
you're gonna have
being
to tell
vulnerable.
You're going to have to tell me a personal story.
All right, I'll tell you a personal story. I, after having my child, my first daughter, Delilah, had severe postpartum depression. I kept it secret. I didn't say a word.
To anybody in your family or anybody in the world?
To anybody in the world. And
so your husband didn't realize, oh my goodness.
He thought I was just nuts. He just had no idea what was going on. And I was so hopeless and felt so lost that when I finally, 10 months later, opened up to him and told him how worthless I felt, my self-esteem was gone. I didn't want to have sex, obviously, that was part of it, but it was opening up something that I felt so much shame about was the most valuable thing that I could have done.
Well, that's a very important message for any moms out there that might be experiencing that, because you're supposed to be joyous and happy and available, and you're feeling worthless and angry and irritable and disconnected from your spouse.
It was really, really challenging, obviously. I mean, women that have gone through it know that. But I suffered silently, and I don't want any woman to ever have to do that again. You have to talk about it. You have to be open to your husband, and you've got to call your doctor, certainly. But it was that connection that I had with Harry. Once I opened up and said, you know what? I feel worthless. I have no self-esteem. I am lost. I'm hopeless. I mean, I'm a very positive person, and I'm a go-getter, and it was gone, and I was scared to death, and I thought I would lose him.
Oh, my goodness. You figured if he knew how bad you were feeling, he'd leave.
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yes, absolutely.